Do you hear the call to adventure? Climb aboard or walk the plank. On the high seas, only those with the strength and spirit can survive. What mysteries lie beneath the waves? Treasure? Glory? Time to raise anchor and set sail. These are the tales of the White Springs Revenge.
So what do you want to do with your 2 weeks of downtime? We decide what we're doing with the half boat.
Yeah, I want to spend my downtime turning the ship of Admiral Graveslammer into the Whitmore Resort and
Hotel and casino. Yeah, the ship is big and it kind of clogs your port because of its size. So are you trying to take parts of it apart and reassemble it into a building on the land?
I already got the wood resources from that last time. We've been dismantling it, repairing what needs to be repaired from the rain. I assume it's very big and there's a part of it that's got sunk, and I just kind of want to build out the pier to it, like expand our harbor to include that.
Okay, like part of it is sunken out there, so you build a long ass pier and that's like support of it when it gets out there.
Yeah, and then we could have more spaces for trade and for ships and boats to come in and parasailing. And
where's the resort being built?
On the ship, because you've described this ship as big as a city, so I feel like it's pretty big, and even half of its size would be able to hold.
So it's at the end of the pier, basically. Yeah. So you go out to the pier, and then that's left out there is built up to be the casino. I think you should give me some charisma rolls. How big of a place are we building? Are we building just like a gambling hall?
Yeah,
a big multi-tiered hotel.
I'm thinking another +2 income kind of area. It's big, it's lavish. It's not luxury hotel casino resort. It's a pirate hotel casino resort. So it doesn't matter how it looks as long as it's sturdy.
Yeah. It's like a Wild West brothel, but like 3 of them connected together.
So maybe like 4 or 5 stories.
Damn. Okay. Yeah. I mean,
for the hotel, and then
the bottom floor is like you got all the games. Let's call it 10. It's a big undertaking. It's got to be at least 10 of that wood, at least. What other resources do you have?
Mangoes and lightning stone and stone.
How much stone do you have?
2.
All right, it's gonna take that too. You gotta like make sure shit stays put and doesn't float away.
I'll sacrifice all my mangoes for quality food when in my resort.
The mango is the theme of everything though. Like the signature cocktail is mango. The signature dish is like a locally caught fish with mango, like a mango chutney. Like everything is mango themed in the hotel.
Even the gambling games. The game's a chance.
The roulette wheel is a giant is a mango.
You also have lightning stone. How much lightning stone do you have?
1. I spent it all on the battle.
Oh, that's right. You made like a offensive.
There is still a line of explosive lightning stone or whatever in the sand on the beach.
You guys put up signs that say "Do not walk on the sand." If you want to spend your lightning stone, I'll let you make one sort of like light up thing, like
a huge mango, a neon mango,
giant neon mango sign, and with a big W on it.
We're calling everyone to us, dude. We have a huge sunken ship with a neon mango and a W on it. No one else has electricity, dude. We're the only ones.
As you say electricity, the lightning and thunder crackle in the sky. Okay, so you construct Whitmore Resort and Casino with a giant 5-story ship-style building sunk in the middle of your bay with a long pier stretching out to it and a big neon sign flashing a mango with a W.
Is that your new sigil? A mango with a W?
Yeah. You know what? I'm going to spend 75 gold to get a new signet ring. That's because I used to have one, but I gave it to the Atlantean.
Your husband.
So now I'm getting a new one.
Your husband. Yeah, your husband.
My wedding ring.
It was a wedding ring. Yeah, now you need to get another one.
And
because next time you see him, you don't want to have that ring off, dude. He's going to be pissed if he doesn't see you wearing a ring.
Yeah, so now I have a new ring that's a mango with a W in it that matches the neon sign on my casino.
I like to imagine when you have like opening weekend, because the mangoes all come from this other island right next door that you like are like farming from essentially. Remember that the
Yeah.
first game
We
you
saved them
guys
from
went
the
and visited
troll.
the village. Yeah, you saved it for the trolls, and now they're your business partners. I like to think that they've become like redneck rich. Like they were like a poor tribe, but like they've gotten kind of wealthy off the mango trade with you, and they come all like poorly overdressed to the opening of the Mango Hotel and Casino, Whitmore Resort and Casino. What's going on with Elo Pilo for those 2 weeks?
Feel like we haven't done, like, kind of forgot about that monster that we really released to the world. So maybe I want to do some research on it. So yeah, I'm gonna go to the library, I guess, and do some books. And I'm gonna take Christelle with me because she knows stuff. She's been around for 1,000 lifetimes. Might know some things. I got an 8.
I think you spend some time researching, trying to put together what's going on, like studying, like summoning demons and creatures and stuff. You're like reading the books here. Somehow you end up like running out of places to go here. And it does occur to you that the gnomish mage Boop might know more about this subject and have better resources than what you have here in the island.
And where's Boop at?
He lives on one of the other islands, but you could go visit him. I mean, you guys have boats.
I'll go visit that guy.
Mr. Peelo, welcome. So, what research are you doing again?
Beep, I don't know if you heard, but we had a little too much fun in Atlantis. And maybe all this rain going around, it might be our fault. We saw
Hey,
this lightning monster coming out of a portal.
Well, you didn't really so much see it as it came out of the depths of the dark of the ocean.
Yeah. Have you ever heard of anything like that? I feel like it might be our responsibility in some weird way. I don't know how.
He looks at you and he says, this actually helps fill in some gaps. I didn't realize you and Whitmore were involved in this. Whatever that entity was that came out of the sea, can you tell me what happened in Atlantis?
There were some cultists that wanted to release the monster for some reason. We tried to stop them, but obviously we were unsuccessful. They all killed themselves.
That's interesting. Okay, that confirms some of my suspicions that this is some sort of minor deity summoned from another plane of existence. Have
That
you
thing's
heard
a
of
god?
a lesser deity? Certainly a lesser deity. The greater deities
The
don't
gods are real?
fuck around. Yeah. Oh well. I mean, they are entities who call themselves gods.
You're
If
telling
that's
me a
what you
lot
mean.
today, Nipnop.
Well, it's boo.
Oh, well, yeah. I got it. It was close.
No, it wasn't.
I'm going to go on his nose and go, boop.
That's okay. Please do not touch me. I am not a child. I'm older than you by at least 100 years. And he goes through a stack of like letters and stuff, and he pulls one out and he says, I have been in correspondence with someone who I think might be a better expert on this. And they are on a ship conveniently headed towards the islands at this time, and they should be arriving in the next week. Perhaps I will send them to Whitmore Cove, and they can help you deal with this problem that is clearly your fault.
I mean, just because we didn't stop it, how is it our fault? We didn't cause it. We just didn't stop it.
I'm sorry. I thought you were the heroic adventurers.
I'm just a young man, Bob. Boop. You're old man. You should know these things.
You'll be looking for a woman named Penelope.
All right.
She should be here in the next week or less.
Thank you. And I give a little bow, and then I walk out.
We've got a casino. We got some information about somebody coming to try and deal with the elemental creature from Lightning World.
So before we start, I want to be at the casino. Actually, before I go, I'm going to ask Whitmore for some money to go to the casino.
I wanted to carouse after defeating Admiral Graveslammer at the grand opening.
Yes, the grand opening. Who do you invite to the grand opening?
The Governor.
The Governor and his
People
wife?
from Atlantis.
Atlanteans, okay, yeah.
Can-
the mango people, obviously.
Can you send an invitation to the prince just to be like an asshole?
The Prince, Commander Heelstorm, everybody in the Isles. And then we'll do a paper bombing campaign of White Spring. I rolled a 3.
On opening day, a lot of things go wrong.
But we still get it done, baby.
But yes, but Peelo jumps in, starts yelling at crewmen, and you guys pull it off, and it ends up being a decent time. And not quite the level of hurrah you were looking for, but you guys do pull off and open.
Okay, but I get to choose one. So I would like to hear rumors of an opportunity.
You're looking for like political favor there, right? Like allyship with Slipscar.
Who's in charge?
Let's say Slipscar probably has a mayor who's maybe a bit of a pushover, probably folded to the prince's advances pretty easily.
Can it be a child mayor?
Yes. Yeah, maybe he's like 12,
He's
inherited the town, appointed himself mayor, but has basically been told what to do by the prince's men. Probably could be easily influenced if you could remove the influence of the prince from his court.
On hearing this, I'm going to spend an income to get another mango, and I'm going to send that to the mayor as a gift using my move.
Yeah, we got mad moves, man.
So I spend an income and roll charisma. Double sixes. On a 10 plus, they are impressed and feel the need to reciprocate.
All right. So you send mangoes to Slipscar.
Is the party over?
Party never stops. You know, it's a grand opening. It's one of those things that lasts like the whole
weekend.
month.
Oh, because I want to go talk to the governor.
Yeah, while he's there, yeah.
Yeah, I just want to talk to him. I like talking to him.
Okay, so Slipscar, they send you back. What's something else in trade form that you don't have? What's a resource you would want?
Steel.
Okay, yeah, steel. They send you back. You send them one mango, one abstract value of mango shipping, and you get one abstract value of steel back as like an exchanging of positive vibes. You see the governor, Peelo, and his wife, they're around like a craps table.
They're playing craps? Was I able to get any money off of the captain?
I don't know.
How much you want?
I don't know. How much is like a regular bet?
I'll give you 50 gold. Spend it wisely.
I put all 50 gold on the table. The governor's already playing, so he's rolling. I'm just betting on him.
Okay, cool. So then it's just chance.
So I go up and I throw it down, and I'm just like, "What's up, governor? Governor, how you doing, man? How do you like all the mango trade?"
The mangoes are wonderful, but the seas keep getting angrier.
Yeah,
And
sorry about that. I mean, what?
and his wife is the one about to roll, and she sees you and she says, "Mr. Peelo," and puts her hand on your shoulder, holds forward her dice and says, "Blow on these for luck."
All right, I'm gonna blow on him, but like a little too wet, like a little too much saliva. You know, we've been drinking, we're having a good time, so I just put down all my money on the line. Look, it's a little sloppy, you know.
Odds or evens?
Evens.
All right, here we go. 3.
Oh no, I lost it all.
And the governor claps you on the shoulder. That's how it goes gambling. But it all goes back to Whitmore's pockets. La, la, la.
That came from Whitmore's pockets, so it's all the same, I guess.
And he just cackles with you because you can smell the rum on his breath from the mango martini he's drinking that for some reason has rum in it, because everything you guys make is just mango and rum.
So I'm going to tell him goodbye, and I'm going to say that I'm going to go look for Whitmore to get more money, but then I'm just going to take off or just go mingle or whatever. I'm done gambling. I'm never going to gamble again. Unless you start naming more games, then I'll go get it.
I mean, there's more games. He said there's a table for every game. That means there's a blackjack and there's a...
No, I want like pirate games. Like, what are pirate games we can...
You got to remember, Whitmore's not really a pirate. He's a rich kid. So I think like there's probably everything's pirate themed or whatever, but it's all like
high society game.
Yeah. That's why it's like roulette and craps and Texas Hold'em. Do you guys want to do anything else at the party, at the grand opening?
I'm gonna get real drunk.
Why don't you roll Constitution to see?
It's the end of the night, and Whitmore and Elo are getting a little... Yeah, I throw a great party, don't I? I'll drink any of you's under the table. Or have a drink off.
Okay.
That's what we're gonna do? All
Constitution, drink off.
Constitution check.
Everybody roll Constitution. I'm going to say one of the NPCs gets in there.
Where's your husband at?
Some Atlantean shows up as has representation. Like he's like a diplomat assigned to the surface or whatever. It's like him and like two supporters, two like aides.
I rolled a 5.
Oh, yeah, I rolled a 10.
Nice. Mr. Whitcomb rolled a 3. So Mr. Whitcomb vomits and then passes out basically immediately. And some of the ship's mates pull him back. Marshall, you enter a blackout phase where you do not remember anything in the night after the moment you took whatever drink you just ended the drinking game with.
Is the party still going on? Like people there?
Yes.
It's
Yeah.
24/7
Yeah.
casino.
So I'm gonna start up a rousing singing of his song. Yeah, so you're just dancing along.
I saw Mr. Whitcomb. That made me sick.
I'm gonna try to get everyone involved, and that's a 7, barely, with my +3. So
Okay.
The eel fucker verse really catches on.
yeah, no, they just like that part.
That's when you try to get them to sing the song, and you get people to sing, but they just sing like the chorus loop and then the eel fucker verse, and then the chorus loop, and then the eel fucker verse, like over and over.
Captain Whitmore, eel fucker, eel fucker.
Yeah, it just becomes a different song.
Just a chant, and you're like going along with it because you're all drunk. And you're just like, eel fucker, eel fucker. This is a good party, man.
Yeah, you guys get totally shazzed. You spend the next few days nursing an epic hangover and minding your businesses when it's raining all the time and it's stormy. It always feels like maybe early morning or the middle of the night. One day, a ship arrives on the dock, and Mr. Peelo, you take notice of a woman who gets off one of the ships, and she has a very large cat-like creature in tow with her, like some kind of panther or cougar, something of that nature. And her attire is not from this region. She is more from regions north of the empire on the mainland. Her style is different than people from the island or people you've seen from the Caledonians. And you think this has got to be the person. What do you do?
I am going to approach and give a friendly greeting. Hello, madam. My name is Peelo. I welcome you to Whitmore Cove. I've been expecting you.
As you approach her, the giant cat, sees you like walking towards her and gets between you, and she reaches out and sort of strokes him and like, take it easy, girl. I believe this is the person Boop told us to meet.
Oh, I can speak to animals, so I'm going to say I'm a friend to the animal.
You can exchange conversation with him, right?
Yeah, just small 2 to 3 words statements.
And
once I get the second level, I can have full on conversation.
Once it says back, I don't know your smell, and it like looks at you, like narrows its eyes at you, and she says, "Are you able to speak animals?"
Yeah, I know the ancient language, so I can kind of talk to everyone. Whoa, 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 whoa.
Then definitely roll charisma.
A 10.
She thinks this is rather cool, and the cat is like sort of mesmerized when you start whoa, whoa, whoa. The cat is sort of like whoa, like the cobra and the guy playing the flute, and she is enamored with this, and she says, "Wow, this is quite impressive. I see why Boop put us in contact with each other. Are you investigating this phenomenon of your endless storm? I take it."
I don't think it's much of a phenomenon. Let me bring
It
you
most
to
certainly is.
Let me bring you to the captain. We can explain a little bit of what we know about this so-called phenomenon, and then I'll lead her to.
Yeah, he's probably in the cottage because it's just wet everywhere else.
Yeah, or like somewhere around the beach. Before we go, what was your name, Miss?
My name is Penelope. Penelope Sakamoto.
All right, so then when I take her to Whitmore, I say, Captain, let me introduce you to Penelope Sakamoto and her friend. They're here to talk about the rain and what could possibly be causing it. And I look at him, I'm like,
Greetings, Miss Sakamoto, and this is Whitmore Cove. I be Captain Whitmore, and this be me men. How can we be of assistance?
She looks at you and she's like, "Oh, I believe I can be of assistance to you. is it true that you gentlemen witnessed the start of this rain phenomenon?
What? No, we had nothing to do with it.
She says, that's not what Boop told me. And she looks at Mr. Peelo.
Boop's a crazy old gnome, and he doesn't know anything. I'm nudging over at Elo. What did you say to Boop? What did you tell him?
What? I mean, we have to figure out how to stop this. I told him the truth.
But now we're going to be blamed for this. Everybody thinks we're gonna be responsible.
Boop's not gonna tell no one. Well, I mean, he told her.
Boop just told someone.
He's not gonna tell everyone.
I look over at Penelope, and then I look at her animal, look back at Peelo, and I slap my shoulder, and I pull out a magic stone from my pocket, and you ever seen something such as this?
Is it the lightning stone you're mining?
I always
And
have a little bit in my pocket.
She takes it from you and she holds it in her hand and she closes her eyes. And well, this confirms it. And she hands it back to you. She reaches in her bag and she pulls out this rod that is sharpened to a point at the end, like a stake, that is made of like a metal with a certain patterning, texturing to it you've never seen. Something very ornate, and there are like runes etched into it.
Have I ever seen? I rolled a 7 to spout lore.
By the looks of this, based on the stuff you've seen, you think this is some kind of like religious like artifact. And she hands it out to you, Mr. Peelo, and she says, this is going to be the key to banishing whatever has been led into our world. If what Boop has told me is true and what this stone here confirms, this is a creature from a realm made entirely of electric energy, colloquially known by mages as Lightning World. Are you familiar with the concept of Lightning World? Yeah, there's thunder cracks every 2 minutes.
Only rumors.
Weren't those cultists talking about Lightning World?
I've seen it when I'm holding this stone. She wants us to spread her light. That's what she said when she was summoned. We didn't summon her. Wasn't our fault. We were just there when it happened.
She looks over at the relic and says, her body is her magical energy holding together in our realm, but she is made of pure electric energy. And if she were weakened to the point that someone could get this stake into her chest, it will act like a lightning rod and ground her out of our realm.
So how big does it have to be?
What?
The lightning rod or the stake?
She gave it to you. It's
that little stake will work on a huge monster?
It's not that big. She says its power is greater than its size. It's simply a conduit. Once it is appropriately done, she will not be able to pull against it, just like the lightning cannot pull away from the earth when it strikes. It will not be an easy task, though. A creature of that power would need to be significantly weakened before you could effectively deliver this.
And how do you weaken it without this weapon? Just normal damage?
It is not a weapon. This is the key. We will have to find a way to weaken it. Not only if its body is entirely energy, when it uses its power, it must siphon some of that energy away. Perhaps we can attack it, but perhaps we can also get it to attack us. If we could survive that, we might be able to wear it down.
If we can survive that. Who's to say that she wouldn't destroy us just by touching any one of us?
It is a dangerous task, but I have heard a few tales on the ship ride out here of a man named Captain Whitmore, who is fearless, who fought lizards and spiders.
Don't forget
giant lizards and giant spiders. Those were not embellishments. They were of enormous size.
And creatures from under the sea and giant men that captain ships. I don't mean to be presumptuous, Mr. Whitmore, but
Captain Whitmore.
This seems right up your alley. It would be an excellent verse.
You're right. And I snatch the sword up and I start wielding it.
The stake?
Yeah.
It's like a sharpened rod.
How much lightning rock do we have?
1.
Can we make like lightning cannonballs?
If you wanted to.
Lightning stone cannonballs?
I like that idea.
We got the lightning stone. Might as well use it. Like that might be able to do something.
You have lightning stone and you have steel.
And
you could have Mr. Whitcomb make like
Thunderball.
So you build thunderballs. What is the plan? What do you think your plan is to deal with this? Obviously, Thunderballs is part of that. But you have Penelope as a resource. Talking to her, you learn she is a mage and she would be the elementalist class. Her ability to shape and bend the elements around her. And that's why she's sort of a semi-expert on Lightning World and stuff like that. The elemental planes are sort of an area of expertise for her. And she talks about how the electric energy around here is so high, like she can feel it. And she has a very easy time bending lightning while around this area because there is just so much energy. If you mention trying to track it, she says, "Oh, I know exactly where it is. This energy has a clear central point." And she points up at the storm and points to the middle of the storm where it is like turning at, which is right above Atlantis. It's like slightly out to sea from where you guys are. Straight north is the eye of the storm. And she says, "It is there. I can feel her. The power coursing through the storm is her."
Well, we barely have enough resources and men to take on the dastardly Prince Gloomus. How are we to defeat a god?
We have to try. If this god's path continues, your squabble with a prince will be a moot point. Do you think you will handle well the conversion to being pure lightning?
Oh, it can't be all that bad.
Pretty sure it will cause you to cease to exist. Are you familiar with the term vaporized?
No.
She plucks a leaf off a tree and channels electric energy through it. There's not even dust left. Vaporized.
At least it'll be a painless death. And quick, too.
She looks at you, Mr. Peelo. Is your sentiment the same, Elo? Do you not want to save this realm? And she bats her eyes at you a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, that's why I went to go see Boop Bop in the first place. Beep Bop, Boop Bop.
Boop? Do you mean Boop? He's your friend, right? You know his name.
Yeah, we've met him a few times. He's cool. Listen, I just can't handle the rain anymore, Captain. It's really just getting to me. We gotta do something about this.
Aye, then at best we get this stake in the heart of the beast. It's what we do best.
What if we got little boats like to go ashore, and we put them next to the ship with lightning rods on them? So like when the lightning gets shot at us, it goes to the lightning rods instead of hitting the actual boat.
You'll need some steel
I'll
resources.
spend some more money.
Yeah, we need
for
some more steel.
Okay.
So you have Mr. Whitcomb and kind of oversee the men. Like they run this long steel beam that stands up above your flags out of the main mast of the White Springs Revenge and runs down a metal plate. They run along the side of the ship all the way to the underside of the ship, kind of directing the energy into the ocean for it to ground out. And Mr. Whitcomb looks at you and he says, "Captain, this will withstand a few bolts of lightning, no problem. If enough energy is conducted through it, it will heat up. And we all know boats and fire don't mix, sir. Be careful."
I, Mr. Whitcomb, will be back before ye know it. Goddess or no, they are no match for Captain Marshall Whitmore of the White Springs Revenge.
Your mouth to a benevolent god's ears, sir.
Can I get a yarg?
Yar, they all yar.
Yeah.
So you lightning rod the White Spring. You have 6 volleys of Thunderball. You've got this stake. Penelope is down to see it through to the end. Like she tells you she wants to go, and she will do anything she can to try and stop this because she thinks it's going to destroy the whole world. Anything else you want to address before we go on this perilous journey?
I'll roll scout.
Trailblazer then, Peelo?
Yeah.
Woo, I rolled a 12.
Excellent scouting.
I did not roll a 12. 3 over here.
You guys head out from Whitmore Cove and head north in the space between the isles towards the eye of the storm. And the water here is epic. Like as you get close to the storm, the sea is angrier and angrier, and it pitches and turns and rolls. So we're going to make a series of rolls now as you are sort of lost in this maze of the sea being so big it's hard to tell which direction you're trying. And you're also being buffeted by waves. So first, we're going to make a roll. You can roll to defy danger as massive waves are buffeting the ship. That's our first roll.
I'm using agility, so I'm just going to jump and grab onto something. Maybe as it's going crazy, I just grab onto part of the ship, roll over and grab on, and I got a 10.
Okay.
Let's do a little quick roll, grab something. The old roll and grab.
Can I use wisdom to jump into a hammock? Because it's gyroscopically stabilized?
Yeah, I guess that is kind of a way to use
Or
wisdom.
I'm already in the hammock and I know to stay in?
Yeah. So that, like you intuit that the hammock is a safe to be in the rolling. An old wise sailor trick you learned from Bori.
I rolled a 5.
You are thrown out of the hammock. You're going to take some damage as your men are thrown overboard and the storm is brutal. So you and your retainers are going to take 5 damage. And the ship is battered. You hear wood splintering and breaking. So you are pitched around in this for some time, and it is hard to keep your constitution. So everybody roll constitution.
Double
You fail
1.
again? Ooh.
I got an 8.
Mr. Peelo, you feel queasy,
Am I?
but you're getting a debility.
Yeah, am I sick?
Yeah, you're sick. You got Whitmore sick.
Oh no, not the Whitmore sickness.
I'm going to need somebody to make a wisdom roll to pilot us in the correct direction in this same job.
I get thrown from the hammock. I hit my head real hard. I'm bleeding. I'm crawling up the stairs to get to the deck. I have no sea legs, and I've got the Whitmore sickness. And the helmsman sees that he has to step up and starts directing my men.
Yeah.
Rolled an 8.
You guys slowly but surely make your way towards the eye of the storm. And right as you get to it, the waves are epic. And then you come over like a big wave crest. The sea smooth out. It's not like glassy smooth, but it's suddenly a lot more chill as you are under the central point of the storm. And the wind is like blowing from the center out. And you can see deep in the clouds above you this bright pulsing energy, and it is where a lot of the lightning is arcing out through the storm, and the thundering here is pretty constant. And Penelope turns to the two of you on the deck as the rain is spraying across everyone's face, and she says, "That's her there. I can feel her power. Are you ready?"
Whitmore is just throwing up over the side of the boat.
She then looks to Elo. Elo, it's now or never.
Captain, we need to fire. So I'm gonna go over and this is how I'm gonna aid the captain. I'm gonna go over there, give him a little slap in the face, and give him a little whiskey out of my adventure gear to get his nerves straight. And I got an 8. So I go over, I slap him, give him some whiskey, and I'm like, "Come on, Captain, we gotta do something."
All right, Captain, do something. You got Peelo is rallying you.
Don't mess up, because I only got a mixed result.
I blow my whistle and I say, "All hands, listen to Elo."
Thunderballs!
and
Thunderballs!
I try to blow my whistle, but I like blow chunks into it. 11 with the aid, so
People see you blow chunks, but then there is this loud crash of lightning as a bolt hits on the ocean near them, and it jumps everybody up on their feet, and they all run to position. So, Peelo, you're telling them to load the thunderballs?
Do we see the thing, or we just kind of know its general direction?
You can see the core point. That is it in the storm. The storm is clouds, right? So deep in there is a bright glowing point. That must be it. Penelope is pointing to.
Captain!
keep blowing my whistle. Whatever you say.
So I'm just chanting thunderballs like a madman.
So they let
Thunderballs.
loose a volley of the thunderballs at a high angle into the sky. And you can see them glowing with lightning as they fly into the storm and strike towards the middle of the heart. And there's this delay. And in the rain, everyone is looking up and you hear somebody say, "Did we hit her?" There's a calm for a moment. And then the clouds at the bottom of the storm start to part as the glowing light source moves down and she comes out of the storm. And you see her there again standing. I don't even remember how tall she was. She's probably bigger now. She's like a building. She's like a skyscraper.
So she's bigger than Godzilla?
Yeah, she's like a kaiju. She's a kaiju-sized creature. And energy is just arcing all around her. And she looks down at your ship and says, "Your actions are futile. All will be converted." And she strikes down at the ship with thundering bolts of energy. And it hits that iron or that steel lightning rod, and you hear it sizzle as the energy passes through the rod, puts it into the ocean, and you look at that rod and it is glowing red hot and it is sizzling as the rain hits it. And
oh no, great goddess of light, we didn't know how to grab your attention. You are so powerful. Please lend us your ear so you may guide us and to spread your greatness. Like right in front of Penelope,
Roll charisma.
completely groveling in front of this giant lightning creature. 11.
Penelope leans in towards you, Peelo, and says, "What is he doing?"
He likes magic. And I just shake my head.
The creature, you get like the distinct impression it is squinting at you and then like trying to understand what the fuck you are in comparison to it, and then says, "Well, speak then. My time is more precious than to speak with lesser beings."
Don't you remember me, Great One? We were present at your summoning.
This is the only reason I have not destroyed you. Speak now.
Well, there is a great power of man, and they think they have the resources to defeat you. His name is Prince Gloomus, and if he is not taken care of, he is amassing great magical relics to destroy you specifically.
Roll charisma.
10.
So as you say that, big bolts of energy fall to the ocean around her, some of which hit the lightning rod on the ship, and men dive for cover. And she says, "This action is also futile. No mere mortal with any trinket can challenge my godly power. And if you do not believe me, I will simply destroy your islands, and it shall no longer be an issue." And you see she starts to gather up her power.
I know your power is great, oh goddess, but I
Wait,
just
1 second,
wanted to warn you.
The goddess, she's gathering up her power. She reaches out and starts to pull the storm towards her. And like you feel the static electricity in the air and all your hair stands up. And Penelope looks at you, Mr. Peelo, and says, "This is not good." As the god of lightning energy starts to coalesce glowing bolts into a sphere in front of her, like she is preparing some kind of super Hadouken Kamehameha bolt of energy.
Well, I'm going to tell Captain that we should fire the cannons.
I am pleading to this goddess to get her to kill Prince
He's making
Gloomus.
a distraction.
Yeah, I'm gonna scream at the guys to attack. Listen here, the captain is not in his right mind, or didn't expect this to happen, or what? I don't know, but we got to do something. We got to attack. We got to fire, guys. Get those thunderballs in the sky.
Such an inspiring speaker.
Ooh, that's an 8.
They fire, but it's uncoordinated. It's not a great volley, but it does distract her as it like some of them pelt her a little bit, and it distracts her as she's pulling her focus, and she loses control of the ball, and there's this big thunderclap as the ball of energy is just dispersed. You guys feel a subtle shockwave, and she looks down to the ship and says, "How dare you interrupt me?" And she reels back another big bolt of energy and fires it down at the ship. And the ship takes on that bolt through that lightning rod. And the bolt is like sustained. And the wood that runs along the mast where the rod is bursts into flames. And by the time she stops arcing it, like the metal is glowing white hot and the ship is on fire.
Penelope, can't you use some of your wishy-washy, magicy, wagicky stuff? Put out that fire, please.
Yes, of course. And she's going to try and bend some water. She bends water, and a wave comes over the deck and splashes onto the deck, and it puts out the fire on the lower portion of the mast, but towards the top, it's still on fire.
I double down on my men and say, "Fire, fire, don't stop firing."
Okay, another volley of thunderballs.
Yeah.
They rake up at her, and this time the shot is concise and synchronized, and you see it is like, I don't know how many cannons are on the side of the ship, like 6, 8, something like that, as the volley synchronized hits her, and she reacts in pain, and lightning energy arcs away from her, and she seems to ever so subtly shrink in size a touch, and the weather seems to get very incrementally chiller, and she is pissed off and raging. Mr. Peelo, what are you doing?
I'll take the stake and do the glider, I guess. So I'm gonna run over to Penelope and say, "Give me the key." She called it a key, right?
She pulls it out and unwraps it from its fancy wrap of leather and presents it to you. And she says, "Good luck. You're going to
And
need
then
it."
I'm gonna jump on this glider and try to fly out there. Could be
So
worse.
you get up into the air and you're sort of like, oh, okay, trying to gain control of
It's
this.
not like riding a bike, guys. It's it's
And the
difficult.
wind here is pretty intense. Like
Yeah,
it's
there's a storm going on.
it's definitely an intense environment to try to fly a wind. So this time, the entity, seeing that her lightning is being foiled, she changes her mode of attack and she strikes energy at the ocean around in front of the ship, causing the water to pitch and throw a large wave onto the deck of the ship. So everybody on the deck of the ship will be rolling Defy Danger. She's creating rough seas by hitting
Jump in
bolts.
the hammock again, dude.
I'm gonna try to make my way to the main mast and grab onto a rope that's hanging down as the ship tips violently. Woo, for 12.
So you stab a knife in the deck of the ship and hold on. You see Penelope as like one of the waves pitches the ship and then water comes over. She like bends the water around her to cushion her falling onto the deck on the other side and pops up a little more wet but not injured. What do you guys want to do?
Keep on keeping on. I'm flying in the storm, trying to make sure I don't fall.
Okay,
Going with
what do
the
you want
wind.
Penelope to do? She can bend elements, which could help. The ship is still a little bit on fire, and she could help Mr. Peelo with the flying. You know, she can do anything else you can think of with the elements.
Penelope, get on top of that fire.
She bends the water off the deck and turns it into a wrap that just wraps the mast in water and then falls away, and all the fire is gone. Peelo, you want to roll to pilot the thing?
Yep, and I got a 12.
Nice. So you get comfortable in the rough air. You utilize the turbulent air to jettison you towards the creature and fly up to where it is. And you pull out the stake and get in position to try to make a move on it. What is Captain Whitmore doing this turn?
Fire! 11.
You pitch up high and the bolts come under you and whiz past you and strike right into the chest of the creature. And you see it in more detail, Peelo. Like as it hits, it rips her form that she's like holding together through just pure like will of energy. It kind of rips it open and some of that energy escapes and she loses size and is weakened by that. Then it is her turn. She's just going to let out blasting thunderous bolts in all directions. So everybody needs to make a Defy Danger.
I got 6.
Can I use my intelligence to grab something metal and try to ground myself?
Like you just hold your sword above your head and like take your boot off and stick it in the sea or something, like stick it in a bucket of water. Sure.
I've seen elementalists like you, Penelope. It can't be that hard. Ooh, I rolled a 7.
You get zapped a little bit, but you manage to mitigate the greater brunt of the damage. You only take 4 damage.
Tingly.
You see Penelope straight up bends it back at him, you know, like she bends it like through her, like lets it pass through her and shoots it out the other way off the deck away from people. Mr. Peelo, you're struck by lightning. No armor, yeah. You take 4 damage. You smell burnt hair and burnt wood and burnt canvas as your whole rig is a little worse for wear, but you are still flying at the moment. What would you guys like to do? You are getting very close to her now.
I want to command the helmsman to get in closer. Seeing Elo get hit by the lightning, want to get closer. Mr. Helmsman, don't let Elo Peelo out of your sight. Ooh, and he won't. 14.
Okay, so the ship swiftly pursues Peelo to try to stay close to him. What do you want Penelope to do?
I'll have Penelope gust some wind in our sails.
So she bends wind and it brushes up behind the sails, accelerating the ship, and she bends that gust up into the air to Mr. Peelo, who just got struck by lightning. You feel a gust of wind come underneath your craft and stabilize you in the air. She's going to give you a +1, like an 8 roll. And you notice the captain didn't fire this time. He chased after you.
All right, so I'm right there. I'm going for the kill. Let's do this. 10 + 1, 11.
Cool. So you swoop in The glider catches the air as you turn up and accelerate forward and hold out the sharp rod of the stake and pierce into the creature. And its energy starts to move through the rod. You feel it start to pull into the rod. You are still holding onto the rod, so I'm going to need you to make a constitution roll.
8.
You feel the energy pulse back through the rod, so you let go, and it arcs up at you, and it blasts you away, and you are thrown up with your gliding device into the air. Roll dexterity.
9.
You reach out and you grab onto the winged craft so it doesn't get away from you, but you are no longer in a control position with it. And now you're in like a controlled fall as it catches some wind. And the crew on the White Springs, Penelope and Captain Whitmore and his men, look up and see Mr. Peelo enter this flat spiral fall as he is trying to cling to the flying craft. What do you guys do?
Penelope!
I'll try and help. And she's gonna bend the wind. Mr. Peelo, you feel a gust of wind pull up beneath you and slow your descent, and you're able to grab a hold of the flying device more properly. Captain, what are you doing?
Fire! 10.
You fire another volley. This is volley number 5.
Yeah.
Of thunderballs. You see them erupt from the cannons. They arc in light across the water and strike the beast. And this time, as they strike the beast and it tears open, more energy starts to arc from those tears into the small point in the chest where you saw Peelo strike, and the beast starts to writhe as its form starts to be ripped open slowly, and it rages against this, and it lashes out at you in its dying rattles and fires a bolt of energy. Everybody make defy danger. It's just volleying bolts of energy in every direction.
I got a 7.
I also got a 7.
4 damage.
Damn it.
4 energy damage. Lightning damage. Mr. Peelo, you are back in control of the device, but you're still falling. That last bolt that struck you and gave you a little bit of a buzz cracked the wood of the flying machine, and as you try to get input against the wind to take control, you hear it snap in half, and you free fall towards the ocean.
Penelope!
She buffets you with a gust of wind, and you feel it slow you down, but she cannot stop the impending acceleration, and you hit the water. And you hit hard, but not probably as hard as you were going to hit. You take 7 damage.
Oh no. I have 2 hit points left.
You see Peelo hit the water, and for a second he doesn't move, and you think he's dead. And then you see him start to struggle to life and start to paddle against the ocean to keep his head up. And you hear one of the men yell, "Man overboard!" because you have the boat in position, and the men immediately go to trying to rescue Mr. Peelo and pull him aboard the ship. The creature in the sky is rapidly shrinking, as so is the storm, and soon it folds into the point where Mr. Peelo struck it, and it is fully inhaled in a flash, and there's a last thunderous loud echo across the sky, and you see something glowing slowly start to fall into the ocean and sink beneath the water back into the deep where the creature came from. And Penelope is there as they pull you aboard, Mr. Peelo, and she throws her arms around you and hugs and says, "Oh my God, you did it! Oh my God, you look terrible," as she looks at you.
I'm going to be deliriously singing the song about Captain Whitmore and coming up with new verses regarding the lightning monster. But it's going to kind of sound, I'm trying to think of something I can say that's going to sound kind of ridiculous. Anyways, it's going to be an 8 charisma, and the words that I'm singing, I'm kind of mixing it up. So I'm saying that he fucked a lightning monster. He fucked a lightning monster and birthed an electric eel. That is the new verse that I come up with as I'm there laying almost dead on the ship.
The men pull you aboard and see you immediately to some sort of medical space. Captain, what are you doing?
I'm gonna drink a health potion.
As I'm dying, he's like, "Oh wait, I haven't. You got me a health
Yeah, I
potion."
bought you a health potion.
So I will also drink a health potion.
We need to make sure that whatever power that is gone for good. We need to make word to Atlantis. I also kind of just want to eat this water-breathing ball and go after.
You'll need something heavy, real heavy, because you got to catch it. It's falling ahead of you.
I already have super low con. Let's do it. Captain Whitmore is still a little bit fascinated with this and influenced by this lightning magic. He's seen Lightning World and was serious about being a distraction, but also kind of serious about spreading her light and didn't know what side to play, trying to not get vaporized. And he's gonna stuff down the water breathing ball and grab a cannonball and some chain. So while everybody's attending to you and like feeding you your health potion, I'm jump off the edge of the ship.
Is that the last breathing ball?
We only have one.
All right.
Penelope looks at you, Mr. Peelo, and goes, "What is he doing now?"
I think he wants to go see his husband.
You don't think he's going after the lightning rod, do you?
Maybe. I don't know. The captain's a strange fella. Like I said, he likes magic.
You see, she gets really uncomfortable with that idea. She's contemplating going after him. Odds or evens?
Odd.
She looks to you and says, "Should I go after him?"
Do you want to see Atlantis? I can show you Atlantis.
No, I mean the lightning rod. I don't think anybody should have it. Also, what he just did was super dangerous. But if you trust him, I will trust you. You did just slay the lightning.
I don't feel that even if Captain Whitmore did go after the lightning rod, that he would use it for anything other than freeing this land from a tyrant.
You saw what it was going to do. It was going to destroy this land and much, much more.
Oh no, that tyrant's dead. We're talking about the prince now.
All right. So let's cut to Mr. Whitmore. You are falling through the ocean and you see a slight glimmer in the darkness below you of the rod falling. And you have the chain wrapped around yourself and you're clutching this ball, trying to make yourself as heavy as possible. And it's very much like the last time you did this. You are being crunched and crunched and crunched, and it's getting worse and it's growing fast. Roll Constitution.
10.
So you feel it squeeze and you aspirate water and you take focus, takes long, slow, deep breaths, and you dive deeper under the ocean. You can see as you're getting deeper, the subtle glimmer of Atlantis coming up in the deep, slightly off to one side. And you dive deeper and deeper. Roll a second Constitution.
7.
So this time it's getting harder and your breathing is getting labored and you're trying to keep calm.
Oh, calm down, Marshy. Don't let the sickness get to you.
You say to yourself as you accelerate. Atlantis now is starting to become clear in the distance, but you can see that where you're falling, you're over the true deep of the depths of the ocean. You are starting to catch up to this thing. How are you trying to accelerate your speed through the water, i.e. roll Defy Danger to catch up?
I'm gonna flip over, head down, and start kicking my legs like a frog while holding the cannonball. It just
Okay.
Strength?
Yeah, like a swim.
9.
So you are catching it, but not fast enough to catch it before you get to the next deep layer and you feel crushing happening, getting stronger as the about floor level of Atlantis is rushing up at you quite quickly. Roll Constitution.
2.
You are now struggling to aspirate water fast enough to breathe. Like pressure is so great you can't take deeper breaths, and your short breaths are fighting against the weight of the water and the pressure. And you're going to take some damage. You're getting squeezed for 5 damage, and you quickly are rushing past the depths that Atlantis is at. Roll again to try to make up more time on the thing.
9.
You can see it now. It is clear in your vision. You are slowly creeping down upon it, but you can see it. It's going to be within your grasp, but not before you dive deep. You see Atlantis pass you on the left and the sea shelf, and you are just now into blackness. Just you and it, and the sea is crushing down, and you are having trouble breathing already. Roll Constitution.
Double 6s.
You somehow manage to just power through and just take these hulking breaths, and you start to feel oxygen return to you as you bear down upon this thing. Roll to capture the item.
I go out and I snatch it. As I do that, I drop the chain and cannonball. I was thinking if I could go to Atlanta.
That's certainly a closer swim, and you are exhausted now. Roll strength for me to try to swim up towards Atlanta.
10.
It gets a little bit easier to breathe as you get up and you get to the edge of Atlantis, and there's somebody there at the edge, some like coral farmer or something who sees you. By golly, isn't that one of them surface dwellers that came down and stopped the quake?
I am plapped in marshy wet flesh. Now tell me, bring me Atlantean.
He don't look so good. Call the doctor. So,
Where's Greg?
Where's my husband? Bring me my husband.
So you are attended to by some Atlanteans who help to kind of stabilize you and help you adapt to breathing at the pressure. Maybe they give you a proper bandaging. You take 4 HP as they bandage you up.
I want to meet up with like some top brass, and in accordance with the treaty between Whitmore Cove and Atlantis, I present thee the Rod of Lightning. Its power is great and should be wielded by no man. And I fire it off in a show of grandeur.
Roll charisma.
13.
You fire it off, and it is impressive. And you hear the lightning goddess whispering to you from the other side of it. You can't quite make out what she's saying, and you just push it out of your mind, but you do hear her like for a moment fleeting. The top brass of Atlantia take this very seriously and say, thank you, Captain, for bringing us this gift and ridding the world of this creature. We will lock it away here in the depths so that no other may get to.
Yes, and I bid thee farewell and burden you with this great responsibility. But can ye do me a favor?
Of course.
Give old Greg a raise.
Certainly. We will make sure your husband is well taken care of, as husband to a great ally and diplomat as yourself.
Is there anything that you guys need? Are you good? You cool? Okay, I'm gonna go now. Back out the door.
You hear them kind of whisper to each other, like, surface dwellers is quite odd.
Need anything from the store? I'll be right back.
You guys like mangoes?
You would also get arranged with a ride back to the surface, essentially.
Can I get some Atlantis loot?
Yeah.
Can I come back with some extra goodies? With my Atlantean escort?
Totally. The Atlanteans give you a crown. Was like one of their old rulers back when they had more of a monarchy-based system, and they like are entrusting it to you as like a sign of, you know, like you gave them the rod, they give you this crown as like it's a sign of our wealth that we're sharing with you, and it is extremely valuable. Actually, it's worth like 600. It's got like gemstones in it. It's made out of like fine coral work.
I'm gonna place it in my casino like a centerpiece.
Okay, so Mr. Peelo, you're left on the deck of the ship for a while with Penelope and the crew. What do you guys do?
I'll have a little small talk with Penelope. So besides minor deities from other dimensions, what else do you know? Have you ever seen one of these? And I pull out my sword, my crystal sword. I'm all, this is Cristal.
And she says, ooh, this is very interesting. No, I have to say this is a little outside my purview, but I have heard of realms of crystalline creatures and beings. This looks like it's very old.
Yeah, she wants to open up a restaurant, but I don't even know how she's going to do it. She doesn't have any arms.
You hear Cristal's voice start to enter your mind. She's like, I am the administrator, okay? Whatever armed things need to happen, that's what you're for, and the people I'm going to hire.
So technically, it's going to be my restaurant.
What? Elo, we had an agreement.
Of course, of course. I'm just saying, to everyone else, it just seems like I'm a crazy person talking to a sword.
She gets really flustered with that. She's like, I can't even believe it. Penelope's looking at you going, are you talking to the sword?
Yeah, she's mad that I said something about her having no arms.
It's not about the arms. It's about the principle that you don't think I can run a bistro without having arms.
Are you able to talk to other people besides me, Cristal?
I've lived so long that I've talked to more people than you've met in your lifetime. Okay, it's just
talk to Penelope right now. Talk to Penelope.
It's one person at a time. I can't believe you're doing this right now. I can't believe you're doing this.
I just put Christelle back and Schiefer back in the sword holder, and I'm just like, yeah, I don't know what's going on with that. Very emotional sword.
Captain, you are rid up from the bottom. You get one of those like bubble sacks you were given before, and it's strapped to you, and an escort like rides a sea serpent alongside of you most of the way up and bids you adieu.
Only more reaffirming the eel fucker tales. I come up next to a giant sea serpent eel thing. Goodbye, thank you. See you again sometime.
Can one of the sailors be like, oh, he's back with his husband? Just not trying to be funny, like honestly thought that was the husband.
That happens right after one of them says to you, so do we think the captain's dead? It's been a while. And then you hear him burst the surface. He's with his husband. And they pull you aboard, Captain.
And I'm wearing the crown.
Penelope looks at you and says, what happened?
I am king of Atlantis.
I immediately get down and start bowing to him.
I've had a long day. I've got Whitmore sickness, and I'm just completely delusional. They made me their king.
Okay. All right. Well, that's interesting. So you guys make sail back to Whitmore Cove, and as you're doing this, the clouds are clearing, and you start to see it. Something you forgot the sight of. A clear sky, sun, as light rays start to pierce through the clouds, and the rain stops. And slowly but surely the sky's clear, and you can see the sun setting as you pull towards port, and it is finally not a stormy day.
Can we stop by the governor? Let's stop by the governor, and I'm gonna liquidate the rest of my income to get gold, and I'm gonna pull up to port. Mr. Governor, good to see ya. I brought you something from Atlantis, and I pull out like a shell or
It's like just part of the street you picked up, but it looks exotic. Whitmore, we were not expecting you. Please come in.
I just wanted to revel with a friend on this beautiful sunny day.
I can see that. The clouds have cleared. Finally, the storm is gone.
You know who was responsible for this?
No.
Before he gets to anything, I start singing the song.
Sing the verses!
And I start, yeah.
Roll charisma, Peelo, as you sing the song.
It's gonna be a 9.
Captain Whitmore gave you an introduction if he wants to roll aid.
I got a 7.
Everyone who's with you, like your core men and whoever you brought from the crew up to the...
and I'm just there like singing off key and off tempo. And it's just like really dragging it down, but it gets the point across.
But everybody else is like together, but it's like surprisingly good, like following Peelo's lead. And they sing the verse. The governor is very entertained, and he has his staff like whip up some quick food items, and you guys are fed. And he brings out the nice alcohol again, like you had the last time you were there, like some kind of cognac or something, and you revel with him.
Listen, Mr. Governor, it's all well and good to be in good spirits, but I must admit I came here with an ulterior motive.
Yes, Captain, tell me what it is.
I heard tale of a boy mayor down in Slipscar. Do you happen to be an acquaintance of this young man?
We've used to do business with Slipscar more regularly before the prince came into the picture. There's the boy there who runs the town, yes, but the E is on.
Well, perhaps with a recommendation of a man of your stature, one who is also working for the prince, wink wink, nudge nudge, and convince him that he best be allying with us.
So are you asking him to go do it? Diplomatic relations on his, or to speak on your behalf to say make,
or like an official decree or something that I can, or some papers I can take.
Roll charisma.
11.
Yeah, so he writes like some leather saying like a Princess Leia message in Star Wars, like your father fought along in the Clone War, saying
and help defeat Skynet.
yeah, exactly. And that this man, I trust this man, so you should trust this man. And he like stamps it and like seals it all official looking with his signature and hands it to you. Says, I do not know exactly what this is worth to him, but you can try. Wow.
And in return for such a glorious favor, I know I still owe you some money for the boat, but allow me to extend you a line of credit at Whitmore Hotel Resort and Casino.
He looks like he's like a little like not about that, but then his wife enters the room and says, "Oh, we should go next weekend. It's almost our anniversary." And then he rolls his eyes and he's like, "All right, Whitmore, you've bought yourself more time." Is there anything else you want to do here? Peelo, are you doing anything while in Maylock? Yeah, visiting.
No, I think we're good here.
From Maylock, Penelope is probably, after you guys party, is probably going to take her leave because she could get a boat from here.
I thank ye for your assistance, Madam Sakamoto. You always have a place in Whitmore Cove if ye ever be needing a home.
She looks at you and she nods. She says, "I appreciate that. You're an odd one, Captain, but you do get results. I see that the tales in the song are not all bluster, and I'm glad to hear that I have helped contribute to another verse." And then
Farewell, spread the verses far and wide.
She turns to you, Mr. Peelo, and says, "I'm glad Boop reached out to me and put us in touch with each other. I hope that next time we meet, it'll be under better circumstances."
I'm just gonna say something nice in the ancient language, like fair travels or whatever.
And she bids you adieu, and she leaves to head towards the port at Maylock to find a ship back to the mainland. And then you guys eventually wrap up and head home. And with the sky clearing, there is fresh air of energy to the place. People have started to move back out towards the beach. More people have come from the inland and are now visiting the casino. The whole place is more lit up without like this fog hanging around. And as the sun is setting, torches are being lit, and you can see the stars come out and the moon. And it is a revelous night there at Whitmore Cove. So, Mr. Peelo, as you're at Whitmore Cove and the sun sets and the partying begins, as the first night anyone has seen the moon in a long while is happening, a gentleman walks up to you, and by his look, you recognize him, not him personally, but his swagger. He has the touch of someone part of the criminal underworld, which you have recently built connections with, and he reaches out and he hands you a small pouch with a note attached to it, and then quickly leaves. You open it up, and the note tells you about this stone, that it is in the possession of someone close to Prince Gloomis, and that you can leave questions or a message on it, and they will answer back at you. So we're going to sort of collapse that time into a back and forth. So when you first hear this voice come back of this person, it is a woman's, and it sounds familiar to you. What would you like to do, and what questions do you have?
The first question that we had is, what's going to be Prince's next move? What else? We said the vices thing. We want to know if they have any, if he has any vices. Yeah, where they're located, where they're currently located.
So let's start with that. So you leave a message back in that seemingly familiar female voice. "We are at White Spring in some large estate called Whitmore Estate. The only thing that Gloomis cares about is power. It's his ambition has overtaken his mind. His only vice is to seize power, grabbing the arcane elements, grabbing these relics, people, land. He's poisoned by it. And I think some of these artifacts are poisoning his mind further. He seems to be more maniacal, more detached with every passing week.
The next move?
It's hard to predict his next move. He's rather pissed off about Admiral failing to quell the uprising at sea, and he's lost his man Charles Daunt, who was helping him with the artifacts. He seems to be trying to make some kind of move using the artifacts he's collected to finally grab full control of the area, but that plan I am not fully privy to. He's gathered quite a few artifacts, a template, something about an ancient language, a sword of the dead, I think he called it, a sphere, a black sphere of shadows, stone tablet of the ancient language.
We got a sword, he's got a sword, he's got an orb, we got a pigeon made out of fucking crystal.
We have an orb. We gave it to Boop.
All right, I'm going to the casino.
Okay, you go to the casino.
I'll give you 50 more gold.
Do you want to gamble your 50 gold on a game of chance?
No, I'm going to use my gold to try to talk people into fighting each other, and so I can bet on that.
Okay, roll Curza.
hey buddy, I bet you can't beat that guy up over there. I got 5 gold on it.
You start to kind of try to start something, but it doesn't result in much. But one of the pirates that's like one of the men that's kind of part of the running the casino is like, Mr. Peelo, I like where you're thinking. Maybe we should open a fighting ring here at the casino. You think you could ask the captain?
I think it'll be more fun if the captain doesn't know.
All right, but if we get caught, I'm blaming you. It's your ass. All right, so they'll endeavor to start building an underground fighting ring.
I'll talk to captain and make it a real thing because we're pirates. There should be fighting going on.
You start it like underground, and I walk in on it at like this arena. I'm like drunk or something, and I'm just like, what is going on here? And I like blow my whistle, and everybody like comes to a stop. And what are you all doing in here? And why did nobody tell me about it? And I like take off my shirt and I start doing fisticuffs. I just punch.
You join the fighting ring, like you join one of the fights. Roll strength.
4.
Or you get people bet and they bet on a fight and you get your ass pummeled, but the crew is like endeared to it, like that you are down to just get in there and like do a fight. And some people voted for you, betted on you. A lot of people betted against you because they know who the fighters are in the group. But like you are now endeared more to the people who are into the betting side.
Don't forget to subscribe for more Crispy Cast. Like, leave a comment, and stay crispy.